Once you realize you're being put under examination of the whole family, Brahma, you stand no chance. They will approve you today with the conditions that you follow. You sing their tune.
Yeah.
And I told you, whoever pays the piper calls the tune. Check who is paying the piper you're marrying. Who is paying your girl? Who is financing away? On whom is she dependent? Financing is not the problem. It's how attached inordinately she is. You stand no chance against a parent who has worked for 30 years and has millions to fund your girl and keep her in his thrall. You stand any chance, bro?
No.
Don't even try. Don't enter that kind of competition. I know families who today they don't have any privacy because the girl tells the dad everything, including bedroom matters.
Yeah.
Imagine your father-in-law knowing how you do bedroom issues. Can you even face that father-in-law? You'll be too embarrassed. Because they say everything with the daughter that you married an immature person. You married a grown child. And once as you discuss, I don't want you when you are dating to discuss just about the history of the America or division of Africa. Don't just discuss history. Discuss your own futures. I told you one way to find out people's position is to bring up fictitious situations that capture what you wanted to find out. Invent a couple that is where the wife is reporting everything to the mother and hear her opinion. Just invent the story. This is not lying. This is wisdom. Just come up with it. You know the way Nathan came and told David a story?
Yeah.
There was a traveler who traveled, and when he came, he went. You know. Come up with that. You know, I've heard of a story that, because it's probable, it's a story that can happen, she won't think you're creating it. Give it enough details to hear her opinion. In fact, pretend that you have been asked to give an informed opinion. Pretend that you have been invited to a device and you are seeking her insight. If you hear that her opinion is going wayward, my brother, you have what you wanted. She was the one being advised, being checked her advice. So we are saying it's not enough. It's not enough to say we fought together, we have come this way, and now as a family we don't want to lose our brother or our sister. We want to know. And I told you, be careful not to be adopted as a child to that family. Of course, you are an extended family now. You are an in-law there. Honor that position, respect the family functions, be there, show up when you need to show up, but don't be involved in family politics. You have enough battles to fight. You have your own family, you have your job, bro, you have your church, man, you have your boy club, you have other people now, your immediate children. Your energy has places, it's on demand. Why would you be put on another WhatsApp group so you are hearing this being discussed or this and that? Economize your energy and distribute it where it belongs. But remember, I told you that because people marry does not mean they obliterate their history. So they might never totally disconnect from their family. I'm talking about rearranging priorities. So that they start first and foremost with this family.
Talking about prioritization, Benjamin, must they consult you on everything? Because I'm sure some people will say, yes, Benjamin, you know we are married. You see, but when it comes to sending money to my mother, she has called me, I'll send directly without informing you.
But everything that is significant in the context. For example, if you were to send her half of your salary, you get it. Petty cash is different. Sometimes you send it, you do not feel it. It was just a small money, $5, $10. It was just a situation. But if it becomes habitual, I expect you to mention it. You know, I had sent this person money last week. This week now she's asking for it again. I'm wondering, is that normal? Oh, you sent, yeah, it was small money. Then I'm wondering, is that? I don't expect secretiveness from you, because they can ask money from you and also ask from me. We are being a team so that they don't play us. We're becoming a team so that they don't think we can hide. And remember what I recommended. Take my phone and send the money with it. So that they know we are talking. We are together. They can't play between us. Money, one of these days, remind me also talk about family finances.
Yeah.
You bring your unity to money the same way you take it to your bedroom issues, your parenting, how to handle in-laws, so the unity is a couple tested in those fronts. And this one front about money and in-laws is we handle them as a team. And families vary. Some families are very small. If you marry, be careful if you marry a girl and she was the only child.
That is where I was headed. How do you deal with them?
Because they were used to survive that warmth.
Yes.
But remember, it's abnormal. Even if as the only child, talk 3 times a day. That parent who is calling a child 3 times a day, do they have a life? Let me ask you. Does the parent have their own girlfriends, boyfriends? Do they have their church and their job? By the time you call one person 3 times a day, it means they are part of your everything. Unless these people are also running a business together, they're talking business. That would be a different context if they're running a chicken farm together and they're discussing sales and the ongoings, one is managing the other. But if they are on different lives and they're talking 3 times a day, Brahma, and there's those calls, no. I expect people who are mature, unless one of them is sick, they're checking whether they're sick. Once a day is good. Once a day or at most twice, and I don't know twice, talking about what? This would be, how was your day, you guys? Many of us don't call home every morning. We call like once or twice a week. We are following up on things there, we are catching up. It's the quality of the conversation, it's not the frequency. If there's an emergency at home, we are calling because of it, there's sickness or something. So make sure even if the person is the only child, they have the ability to individuate, distinguish themselves and put you as the first priority. Now you are children of both families. But the relationship is healthy, it's not demanding or draining.
Talking about both families, Benjamin, we have this notion again that is set outside the society, that once you bring a girl, once you marry, once you start a family, you become part of our family. You see, your family is part of this family, so you have to do everything as per the ethics of this particular family.
You know, it is true. We merge. We said you don't just marry an individual, you marry into a system.
Exactly.
You do not ask them to abandon their people, but you ask them to prioritize this family and then add other priorities to their lives. They have to show up for those events. No, you know, when, as I told you, when a person is unwell, your wife's brother is unwell, all of you are involved. When there's an emergency in the family, we must all come, join hands, and try to get out of it. We are a team. You cannot. That's how you show love. During difficult times, we fight the battles together. Get used to that. So it will not mean that you have to isolate her, but it means we start first with our own priority. When the money is scarce, we meet our own needs first. We pay our own rent first. We get our own needs met first. We do not send money home when we are in crisis ourselves. All right? So we are saying, even if this person came and you realize that you have to divide between the two, start with your own. Now, there's something we mentioned that you need to remember it. Some of the people you're marrying were more important than the parents in the families. Let me refresh that. Some people you marry and they were playing parent at home. They were the family leader. They were the ones mediating the... I told you, you can have a person who is only a child in the family and they are the ones who keep the family together. So that it's only Bramwell, I'm just using an example. Bramwell is not the father in the home, but he's the one who keeps the family from breaking apart. There are children who, they're the ones who, the parents would have divorced long ago. Some brother would have fought with the father. Some sister would have with the mother. If it were not for this one. And they will tell you, I know when I leave, my family will be in chaos. I'm the one who keeps the peace. And you find girls who tell you, if I don't intervene, nothing will get done. A child is sick, I have to push daddy to take them to hospital. Fee need to be paid. I have to ask this one to send, this one to send, this one to send for the fee to... And it's only a child. If you marry that child, what is happening? They can't just detach right away. We call it gradual weaning. You teach them how to wean away the family, how to get them out of the breast milk by teaching them how to make decisions, letting some things go wrong so that they can get used to correcting things. Because people become dependent without you realizing it. And I told you that you will see the emotional life, how she's being affected by things at home. Even here, the calls from home, how they're affecting her emotions, her thoughts, her life. You can't ignore it. Part of the things, Bramwell, are not yours to wish away. You help her how to be firm, more decisive, put new boundaries now. Remind them, hey guys, remember I have my family to take care of now. She can say it in a happy way, but implement it. Sorry, I can't show up tomorrow. Sorry, I could not pick. I'm attending this. Teach her how to gradually disappoint them until they learn how to stand on their own. Yes.
What about that scenario where we have men who say, the only woman I trust is my mother?
He should not marry another woman. That mother is his woman. Huh? Let me repeat that. If the only woman you marry is your mother, that's the only woman you should have in this life. There are men who marry a girl only to make her a machine for bearing children, but she is not the wife.
Exactly.
She's not consorted. She's kept there as a thing, sidelined. It's wrong for a mother to show up. I told you in-laws should not show up in your house. It's wrong for mothers to show up in your house without the notice of one of you. Just showed up. Oh, is there a tea? We are around. Where is the key? Is anybody in the house? Hey, that is very wrong. Brahma, let me tell you, even if that's your mother, you are my wife, and I told you that people are very sick and possessive. You marry and they start a fight with you as if you are taking away their child. They take you like competition. They see you like you're going to ruin their marriage. Their life. They were being sent money, now the money has reduced. That topic about in-laws. Don't expect to be loved by in-laws. Don't expect the mother of your wife to love you.
Yeah.
Hope it happens. Hope. But don't go overboard to win it. Because as you build your family, some people will hate it. How they have lost relevance since you came. How can you help them? Can you help such a person? They should have a life. As I told you, mothers should have their friends of their age. Colleagues of their age. Friends of their
age.
This is a child of a different generation. This is a child who needed to grow their own family. A healthy Brahma, a healthy Benjamin will have friends over white mates whom we can talk. I can't depend on my son to be my only friend and then I'm interfering with his family. Before he was born, what was I doing? Did I have a life? Some parents never had a life. They're trying to compensate by imposing their presence in the children's life. It is misbehavior for a parent to be too present in the child's life. Just because it reminds them that nothing worked from that marriage. This is the only child who succeeded. The child also needs to build their own marriage. Give them space. So, if you say as a man you can't trust any other woman, stay with a woman you can trust. As a woman, never marry a man who swears he can't trust you. You know he's swearing he can't trust you indirectly.
Yes.
The only woman I trust is my mother. So what am I doing here? Where there is no trust, there is no love, there is no respect.
Where there is no trust, there is no love, there is no respect. Now, Benjamin, before I let you go, now this scenario where we have children who have been brought up by parents who have made them believe that you must be friends of the best friends ever and nothing should separate you. Okay? Now, you get married into such a family that believe that every weekend we are in Benjamin's.
And we rotate. Like the children of Job. They were rotating.
Merry-go-round.
You know? And then they've been told to be closely knit. And to safeguard and to protect each other and to show up for each other. Sibling friendships are important in this life. Blood relations sometimes are the only ones that... And let me remind you something. It's not the blood, it's the bond. Are we together? So when you find siblings who are friends, it's the chemistry that keeps them attached. It's not blood. Blood has no bond. Bond comes from friendship, chemistry, understanding each other, loving each other. So when people are friends, as long as they are balanced, they are not enmeshed, you are not threatened. Let your girl be friends with her sister. In fact, there are things they talk that you should not hear. You hear them remembering their childhood memories. There's a chemistry they have as a family. Be happy for them. Don't be a hater. And just because you are not friends with your brothers, you are wondering why people are laughing with their siblings. Let them be. So I encourage it. As I told you, your woman has a lot of energies and you can't contain it alone. Let me warn you. Don't close that girl at home. You will run yourself. If you cut away from everyone, now you remain you alone. You know, women have about 27,000 words to speak in a day.
Yeah.
And men have a disproportionate 9,000. A third. For every one word you speak, she needs to speak 3. You better let her have other healthy relationships with the colleagues at work, with her siblings, with her mother. You hear her talking to the mother and she comes alive. That is very healthy, and I like it that way. It gives me room to go for my shows. When I'm here doing my show, she's chatting with her sister, checking up with her mom. Please make sure your girl has a balanced life. Don't be possessive. You will be overwhelmed. So as long as siblings are friends, but they are so balanced, They give priority to the family. They don't interfere. As we said, if I give my wife my first priority, so that throughout the day, she's the woman I must check. My children must check how they're doing. Now I have freedom to also attend to my brother, my sister. We catch up. And nobody will have a problem saying, I'm catching up with my brother. We had a good time. We talked until midnight. Nobody will bother them. Nobody will bother them. As long as it's balanced. So friendship is not the problem. The problem is when they are enmeshed.
Yes.
When they don't respect boundaries, when they forget that they have now families they have to answer to, when they underrate, when they downplay the role of their spouses, that is sick. As long as there's a healthy friendship that is balanced, they inform you, they don't seem to be planning conspiracies. The siblings who meet to plan how they can quicken the death of them there, so they can get the money. If they're planning wicked things, that's not a good thing. But if they're just catching up like siblings, encourage it. That's okay. In fact, some of the family empires are built because of that friendship.
Yeah.
They build strong businesses because they are friends and they trust each other. And as long as we observe the healthy boundaries, there's no problem with it.
Right.
Yeah.
There is no problem. Do you encourage having businesses with your in-laws?
Ooh, in-laws. Okay. If the girl was given business, you know, sometimes you can marry her, she's given a shop.
Yes.
She's given a farm. She's given shares. She's given an online thriving business. It will be foolhardy to tell her to dismiss it. But maybe she was given to manage. It is still family's business, but she was given to manage. Now you're part of it.
Yeah.
Who is your boss? Well, I told you to avoid for your life. Avoid your in-law, your father-in-law also being your boss. That is too powerful. You can't even think straight if the man in front of you both gave you a job and a wife. My friend. After God, fear that man. He can turn your life upside down at once. So, if that is the situation I told you, the only solution is to gradually work your independence, either within that system, get your own control, get your own say, or branch away, which is strongly what I recommend. Build your own small kingdom elsewhere, my brother. You need something to say you built. Even if you learned, get wisdom from your father-in-law. I told you, when you don't have complicated relationship, you can have very rich conversations. He advises you about what he has known. He can give you connections, especially when these good fathers who have achieved, they see that the son-in-law is also ambitious and wants to learn. They will give you a lot of insight, a lot of wisdom. You realize that they can even fund your project easily once they see that you are hardworking but maintain the independence. Friendliness, father-son connection, but there's a distance that allows you to make your decisions without having to take anywhere. That is the balance I want you to have. Not control, not being ordered, not being directed too much. Even if your girl has a very healthy relationship with the dad, let it remain, but you are the first priority now in her life. As long as she's able to make that switch, that girl is healthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have mentioned money somewhere, financial support. How do you take it? Should we receive support, financial support from our in-laws?
Avoid the loans. Because of having to be followed up. When somebody has lent you, has given you money and it's a loan, whenever they call you to greet you, you'll think they're calling about the loan. It interferes with all the connection. That's how you must never lend money to lovers and in-laws. If they want a loan, give them money for free. A small amount that you can just give as assistance, not loan. So avoid loans for in-laws. For loans, go to Mshwari, Tala, KCB, wherever. Go to Sako, go to your boys. Don't borrow from in-laws. Borrow money from... when your woman has her own kitty in the house, she has her own kitty, you can borrow from her and return. In fact, she's the quickest lender because you don't tell anyone. But men usually borrow and we don't pay. So we spoil it. Destroy. If you're disciplined, your wife can become a good helper. Practical helper. She has her own emergency savings somewhere, or maybe you don't know, but you're in a crisis. Hey, I need 20K. Do you have something? Yeah. Let me check. Let me borrow somewhere. She borrows, gives you, you repay. Now you have a free lender when you are stuck. But if you misbehave, next time you're stuck because the other loan you never paid, you can't go back. All right? Okay. So if they give you financial assistance, accept it, but don't work with the loans. Go to loan lenders so that you can negotiate readjustment without having to expose your financial status. If they lend you money and you can't pay, you have to explain why. Now, when you're explaining why, what are you explaining? How you're taking their daughter? How much you're not able? Can you see? It's a very complicated relationship. You know? So be careful before you marry into families that have no boundaries.
Right.
That have a family empire, but the family empire is also a control, it's a dominion of control. You need the woman you're marrying to have independent mind enough to have privacy.
Now, Benjamin, in a scenario where we have a lady, for example, a girl who has been brought up by the mother alone, and she takes the mother to be her mother and her marriage counselor.
Marriage who?
Counselor.
Let me tell you the problem with that. When your mother-in-law, unfortunately, is also your wife's advisor on matters marriage to you, you get the dangerous triangle. How many hats is she wearing? I started by warning you about your father-in-law. I want you to avoid her, also him being your boss. Now here, you have your mother-in-law, who is also now the authority to your wife. Let's start by agreeing that daughters and mother connections are usually lifelong. You should not hope to separate those two women. You will lose every time. Don't even attempt. It's a losing battle. It's a wise thing never to fight battles that you can't win. It's generally a wise thing. Pick your battles, bro, okay? Never get between your wife and your mother. Even when they're conflicting and she's telling you how the mother is treating, just listen politely to your wife. Not to the daughter. Listen to your wife. It's a friend. Don't advise and bash the mother. They usually get back together. The connection between daughter and mothers are being studied over civilizations. During a wedding, you see both of them crying. Those tears are usually coming from many corners. You don't see the men crying. The man is just happy that the son is getting a wife. Just seeing a beautiful girl being brought to the family. We are happy, they welcome. But the mothers, the daughter and the mother are crying because of separation. They were living together a lot. They were talking a lot together, but now there's separation. She's becoming... The other thing they're crying is the mother knows married life more than the daughter, and she's fearing whether the daughter will make it. You understand it? Yeah. The daughter is also crying because of anticipation and anxiety and fear whether she will measure up to what people are expecting. Oh, these people attending the wedding, they are coming to check whether I will make it. I go to the end. As people attend wedding, they're also checking. Let's see how far you can take it. Some of those who came never did the wedding. And they know, they want to confirm this wedding is a waste of money. Better to marry quietly and stay married than to waste all this money and separate tomorrow. So we have critics. The girl is crying over how many people are watching and will I make it. So the daughter and mother relationship, it's been studied that during weddings they're the ones usually going through the deepest emotions. But I warned you the other day, I don't want to go that direction. Not all mothers are healthy. Some are narcissistic, evil, mean, hateful. They see the girl as competition. They try to sabotage her. We have narcissistic mothers that are rarely discussed. Oh, that's a good topic for another day. Because the daughters of this kind of mothers are isolated. Yeah. You know, Mother's Day is celebrated. Mother is associated with life. We call it Mother Earth. Hey, we call a country and the sea, she, the sheep, she. We give she and maternal to all life-giving things. All right? So when you try to say, my mother tortured me, you're not even thankful. She can't do 9 months. You don't even... So those who have evil mothers have nobody to empathize with them. That's why it's very important we keep discussing them and to comfort. Those who have this, whenever they come to me, they are isolated. So I was telling you the following. It's inevitable that your daughter will consult her mother about the issues of her life. It's inevitable. The friendship has been lifelong. They started long ago. And more so if she's the firstborn daughter. I advise you the other day to marry firstborn daughters. If you find them, give them preference. They're not the only ones you can marry, of course. But they have an experience because they've already brought up another.
Exactly. Co-parenting.
They have deputized. Mommy. If you marry a lastborn, you'll enjoy the free spirit they come with. Lastborns are known for happy-go-lucky life. You'll enjoy the playfulness. If you marry a middle child, a middle daughter, the liberty. She's a free spirit. Free spirit. In fact, they're almost on a mission to prove they can do things their own way. Imagine. Middle kids, they have a point to prove. Those are the ones who become models. DJs. They take the careers that they are not listed on the career choice to spin. Quick, more fire! They are the first ones to do funny things in the house, to pierce the nose, pierce the tongue. They do things that nobody, where did you get this one from? They're on a mission to prove. Many of them is subconscious, because the firstborn was taken as an authority, and the lastborn was treated delicate. This one was ignored. You get it? So they have to win attention somehow. By proving. We just dress something to cause attention. What is that you are wearing? This is the only time you have looked. Had she dressed like everybody, you would not have noticed her. Yeah. So, because she has no other basis of gaining attention, she does things that are outside the accepted norm, so that you can come and ask questions, and she's happy explaining. So, once you reach a point where your mother and your the mother-in-law and your wife are consorting and you're being told things, handle your wife alone. Never address your mother directly. Never even malign her. Just tell her, I think you are over consorting over our issues. I am uncomfortable with it, and I suggest you seek instructions from elsewhere, because you are exposing us too much. When I go there, she will see me in light of everything you ever told her. All right? Sometimes it is you who is consulting your mother too much about your family issues.
Yeah.
And so that your wife knows, the mother-in-law knows her everything. All right? The problem with this is you will resolve your issues and become happy again, but your mother remains with the information. So you handle your wife and tell her how uncomfortable you are and hope she changes. If she does not change, my brother, I told you, your trump card in all marriage situations. Your trump card. The only thing that can change direction, make people think twice, is the breakup.
Okay. Talking about the breakup, Benjamin, we are through the mother-in-law and the father-in-law. Let us go back to the sibling friendship. You see? Now, in a case where my wife has pulled very close, my sister very close, and now she's using that opportunity to get information that she believes that I never told her. How do you handle that?
It's true. Sometimes I marry and my wife becomes so close with my sister.
Yes.
And they start discussing how we grew up. And then she confronts me with a piece of information. I'm told you had a girlfriend in class 8. So, as I told you need to encourage your wife to mingle with your people. When there's no tension, you have a happier life. All right? But she should also be mature enough to know boundaries and to know what is important, what was not important. If she unearths information that proves I am dishonest and secretive, that is worth addressing, that is worth confronting me with. But if she only brings those things that children did when we were growing up and it was not relevant to our relationship, I have no duty to answer it. I want you to learn how to be firm, by the way. Sometimes people forget that what they're saying is petty. You're the one who responds, oh, by the way, that is not as important. They ask, oh, I'm told that one day when you're in class 8, you were beaten by your teacher and you ran away. Oh, yeah, it was an interesting day that day. Yeah, I ran away. How come you did not tell me? What was it about? We are married. You're not forming a school. to check my credentials as a student. So, the thing here is, make sure you're not put on the defensive over minor issues. If it's a minor issue, tell them I don't think that's important. Personalities vary. Sometimes you find that a lady magnifies a thing that to you. If it's something that a child, somebody had somewhere, or something that, those are major things. But these small things of how I grew up, this one told the other one, no. I also want to advise, as I told you, don't get too close with in-laws. Even if they are friendly, maintain a healthy boundary, because they have nothing to lose. They belong to that family permanently. You have something to lose. If the relationship strains, you can lose a wife.
And you see, we have some women who have already have hidden cards. Okay, your marriage is kama mnacheza karata. You see, you pull this one, she pulls the other one.
Exactly.
You pull. Now she has gotten a very serious and sensitive information from your sister. Now she wants to use it against you. She wants to paint you as if you are a liar. Okay, there are certain things that you are hiding, of which you can only get to know through your brother or through your sister. How do you handle such a scenario?
Because this is my sister, I'll confront her as well. I told you not to confront third parties. All right? If your wife goes talking to Akina Kimani, don't call Kimani and embarrass yourself by saying, stop talking to my wife. Your wife is not a child. She chose to talk. Handle your wife. But if it's your sibling, you also have a responsibility to tell your sibling that I understand some things I'm not happy about ABCD. I'm handling it internally, but I don't expect you to be talking such things about my life, our past. Okay? And the next thing is tell your wife that you're not going to be getting into to be answering to gossip. Really. What they talked on phone for 2 hours in the morning, and now she kept quiet over. She stopped talking to you because she has heard something that she had not heard. You need to be firm, Bramwell. You need to be mature and keep educating your girl about the family, because some of your family members, she does not know them as much as she thinks she knows them.
Yeah.
Educate her about some of the things, potentials they have, and suggest together as a family which direction to take.
That is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching the Benjamin Zulu Show. Priority is key.